My name is Lily. I am 33 years old. And this is not just a story about betrayal. This is a story about losing everything you trust and slowly learning how to trust yourself again. I was married to Daniel. He was 36. We had been married for 5 years. From the outside, our life looked perfect. People often told us how lucky we were. They said we were made for each other. I believed them. Every morning, Daniel would wake up early and make coffee for us. He would kiss my forehead before leaving for work. In the evenings, I cooked dinner and we talked about our day. It felt safe, familiar, like home. I also had a best friend named Olivia. We met in college and stayed close for more than 10 years. She knew everything about me, my fears, my dreams, my secrets. I trusted her more than anyone else in the world. Olivia spent a lot of time at our house. She helped me decorate our living room. She laughed at Daniel's jokes. I felt happy seeing the two people I loved getting along so well. It made me feel lucky. At least, that's what I thought. Slowly, small things began to feel strange. Olivia's voice sounded softer when Daniel was around. Daniel started checking his phone more often. Sometimes when I entered the room, their conversation would suddenly stop. I told myself I was imagining things. One night, we had dinner together. We drank wine and shared old memories. I felt tired and went to bed early, leaving Daniel and Olivia in the living room. I didn't think twice about it. The next morning, Daniel had already left for work. Olivia was still there, sitting quietly at the kitchen table. She smiled and said she had fallen asleep on the couch. I smiled back, not knowing that something inside my life had already begun to break. After that night, Olivia started visiting more often. Sometimes she came when I wasn't home. She said she wanted to surprise me. Other times she said Daniel needed help fixing things around the house. I believed her. But Daniel changed. He became distant, quiet. He stopped looking at me the way he used to. He started coming home late, saying work was stressful. When I asked him if something was wrong, he said everything was fine. One evening, Daniel left his phone on the table while he went to shower. A message popped up on the screen. "I miss you already." My hands started shaking. The message was saved under a single letter. Oh. My heart began to race. I tried to calm myself. It could mean anything. I told myself not to jump to conclusions. I didn't want to believe the truth that was slowly standing right in front of me. But deep down, I knew something was very wrong. That weekend, I couldn't sleep. My mind kept replaying that message again and again. I tried to act normal, but something inside me had changed. A quiet fear had settled in my chest. On Saturday morning, Daniel told me he had an important meeting with a client at a small cafe across town. He kissed my cheek and left. A few minutes later, I picked up my bag and walked out too. I told myself I just wanted fresh air. But deep down, I knew I was searching for the truth. I arrived at the cafe early and parked across the street. My hands were cold. My heart felt heavy. I kept hoping I was wrong. I prayed that I would feel foolish for being there. Then I saw Daniel walk in. A moment later, someone else entered the cafe, Olivia. They saw each other and smiled, not a friendly smile, not a casual one. It was warm, intimate. They sat close together. Too close. Olivia touched his hand while she spoke. Daniel leaned toward her, listening like nothing else mattered. I felt my breath leave my body. My legs felt weak. The world around me went silent. I wanted to scream. I wanted to disappear. I turned away before they could see me. I drove home in tears, barely able to see the road. When I reached the house, I sat on the floor and cried until my chest hurt. That night, Daniel came home late again. I pretended to be asleep. I heard him whispering on the phone in the hallway. He didn't know I was awake. "I miss you," he said softly. I knew who he was talking to. The next morning I invited Olivia over. She arrived quickly, smiling like always. We sat on the couch, facing each other. My heart was pounding, but my voice was calm. "Olivia," I said, "are you in love with my husband?" Her smile disappeared, her face turned pale. She tried to speak, but I stopped her. "I saw you," I said quietly. "Please don't lie." Tears filled her eyes. She nodded slowly. "I never planned this," she whispered. "But it happened, and yes, I love him." At that moment, the front door opened. Daniel walked in and froze when he saw us. He knew. He didn't need to ask. "I can explain," he said, but there was nothing left to explain. A week later, Daniel moved out. He said he needed space. I didn't stop him. I didn't beg. I had no strength left to fight. Olivia stopped calling. I later saw photos of them together online. They looked happy, and I felt broken. I stopped eating. I stopped sleeping. I stopped going to work. Every day felt heavy. Every night felt endless. One morning, I looked at myself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back at me. That was the moment I realized something had to change. I wiped my tears and made a decision. I could either let this pain destroy me, or I could use it to rebuild myself. I returned to my work. I poured my emotions into everything I created. Every long night, every quiet morning, I reminded myself that my life was not over. Slowly, the sadness began to loosen its grip. Months passed. My work started gaining attention. Opportunities came that I never imagined before. I felt proud again, strong again. For the first time in a long while, I felt free. One afternoon at a professional event, I saw someone familiar. Daniel. He looked different, tired, older. His confidence was gone. When our eyes met, he walked toward me. "Lily," he said softly. I smiled politely. Nothing more. He looked down and said, "Olivia left me. She found someone else. I ruined everything. I still love you." Once those words would have broken me, but now they felt empty. I had already cried all the tears meant for him. I looked at him calmly and said, "You broke my heart, but that heartbreak made me stronger than I ever was." He nodded, full of regret. "You deserved better." "I know," I replied. I turned and walked away without looking back. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel hate. I felt peace. Some relationships are built on lies. They may feel powerful for a moment, but they never last. What lasts is self-respect, healing, growth. I learned that home is not another person. Home is the strength you find within yourself. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.